Stand for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Marion County Commission meeting Monday, August 10th. First off, I want to welcome Dan Olive to the commission. And wish him the best during his time with us. This time we'll go ahead with, you want to do public forum first and then go into that?
You mean the reorganizing of the board?
Reorganize?
Oh, I'm sorry, are you,
No, Brad, do we need to reorganize the board first?
That'd probably be best.
Okay, we'll do that first then. Before we get to public comments, we'll have a reorganization of the board. So we'll start out with the chairmanship.
Nominate Kent Becker to stay, remain as, move from vice chair to chairman.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 3 abstained.
I think you can vote for yourself. I don't think I don't think it financially benefits you at all.
Okay, make it 4-0. Vice chair.
I nominate Clark Dirks to be vice chair, moving from alternate vice to vice.
I'll second that. Any other discussion? Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
4-0. Do we need an alternate vice? No? Okay.
I mean, you did the last time,
Yeah,
we've
we
never
just
done
might.
it before.
Okay.
I'll bring it back up in January.
Yeah. So, is there any other areas we need to reorganize?
No. That's
I think everything else
far
is
as I
pretty
know.
much in place. Okay, we'll move on then. Public forum. Anybody in the room or online wanting to comment this meeting? Okay, we'll close public forum, move on to agenda approval. Any additions to the agenda?
I would like to add a 15-minute executive session for personnel at the end.
Personnel performance?
Yes.
Would it be okay to add a quick executive for potential litigation and a separate one for contract negotiation under Brad's time?
Okay, under Brad's time, that'd be contract and what else?
Potential
Potential
litigation.
Anything else? If not, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with the additional executive sessions.
Second.
Moved, seconded by Commissioner Dirks. Any other discussion?
I didn't.
Oh, he had it before you. You're all going there.
He did it and then he did it.
Okay. Moved and seconded. Any other discussion?
I was gonna fight over it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, administrative business.
Okay, first we have some change orders.
We don't have to sign each one of them anymore.
No.
Look through,
New chairs, don't,
look through them, and then one signature.
Okay, I have the minutes of July 30.
I had a chance to review the minutes. Motion to approve the July 30th minutes.
Second.
Moving second. Any other discussion? Not all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Okay, then I have early checks and the amount of $104,524.11.
Any questions on the warrants? Not, I'll make a motion to approve the early checks in the amount of 104,524.11.
Second.
Moved second by Commissioner Olive. Any other discussion? Not all in favor?
Aye.
That's all I have. Just a reminder, we have Canvas on Friday at 9 a.m.
Okay. Josh here.
Would you like to do the rest of the administrative?
Oh, I thought you said you were done. Go ahead.
No, she's done.
Oh, you're done. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
That's okay. Here you go. I did have a report in your packet. Does anybody have questions? Isaac also included and sent over the breakdown of the Park and Lake utilities so that you can see what invoice goes with what. So, and you can ask questions about that now or when it's here if you have questions, but wanted to include that information for you. And I did make a, I sent you all just a sheet, and I also have it for you there on the table today from the visioning session. Just kind of took the transcript from that meeting and pulled out the major points for you to review, and then we can talk about it next week if that's something that I just would like you to review the summary, make sure that that's accurately reflects what the board was wishing to convey, and then we can discuss and move forward with that next week.
One question on your administrative report, the permit for, and now what, do you know what they're doing on that wind turbine?
I don't know what they're doing on the turbine itself. I just know that I did verify that the turning radius is a temporary, it'll be a temporary be taken back out. So I didn't have the opportunity last week to find out and what the actual work they will be doing. I do know that they will be working on the turbine out there.
It would be nice to know. I know that they had rain out there last weekend, so I don't know if they're, didn't look like it was a big enough crane to be doing something on the head, so I'm not sure if they're replacing a blade, repairing a blade. I don't know what they're doing. It would be nice to know.
They had one out there almost all last summer. Of course, they did some turn radiuses last summer.
Okay, I can follow up. Any other questions? Okay, that's all I have that's not on the agenda.
Josh, is here yet or not?
I did send you and forwarded you an invitation from Tabor College, but you should have that in your email. It's launching the new academic year. They're having a celebration on Tuesday next week from 10 to 11. Oh no, tomorrow, Tuesday tomorrow. My weeks are a little off. From 10 to 11:30. If folks are planning to go to that, please let me know if I need to send out a notice.
I'm planning on going.
Okay. At this time, if no other commissioners are able to or planning to attend, then I will just not worry about doing a notice. Okay.
John?
Right?
Here's, I got Josh's report this morning, and here is a copy of it. Okay, that's 5.
So the noxious weed, we actually finally last month got it to go out and get some spraying done a few days. Had a email from Juan, then I think he went out and double checked and said it looked like it's been spraying, but that was one that I've been fighting that one for years, just trying to get it back and stuff. But we are getting out, and when the weather proposes that we can get out and do some spraying. Went out and met with a few farmers and talked with them and heard their sides and talked with other people, and working with with everybody that I can. It seems like they've worked well. They seem to be doing it. So we have training coming. Well, we did have district meetings, Topeka and Atchison last month, and we do have one. I got one that I come up to that's actually this week in Morris County. State Fair's coming up. I do help with the setup and tear down of our booth. The CWDAK sets up a booth. So I help do that, and then I help run a couple days, just information to the public and answering questions and teaching people how to deal with some of these weeds. So, household hazardous waste has been steady. We did a clean out at Gossel on June 27th, and I did one in Florence for the first time here. I think that was, I don't have that down. I think it was right before Gossel's. So that was the first time I got to go to Florence, and they called and set up one. So did a set up and let people bring their stuff to me, and what we do on our cleanups. Any city can schedule it, so.
How much stuff did you get at those?
Oh, sometimes it depends. Gossel's one that I get, I separate as it comes in, household paint, latex paint. We leave them in their cans, and I get about 2 to 2.5 drums from them, about 1.5 drums of oil-based. I'll come back with 45 gallons of oil, batteries, so it just kind of takes its turn on what we get more of sometimes. But the smaller communities, I don't get a whole lot from. A lot of them already come over here and bring and drop off anyways, but some of them don't. So it just kind of helps get that out there to help them out. Transfer station. Has been pretty busy down there. They've been trying to get out and do some cleaning as they go, but there's days that somebody takes off. We get real short-handed, real busy. I did put down towards the bottom that how many tons in May, June, and July of the solid waste that we got and our C&Ds. And you can just, by looking at the numbers, the C&D is creeping up. Just all the roofing throughout the whole community, through the county and everything. That's our biggest right now. I did get an email from Butler County last week. They're still taking, I'll go back on this. We used to be able to cut tires, put it in our trash. It costs us the same. But now they are changing that to, they're charging, even at cut tires, of $300 a ton. Well, you add our time to cut them tires, you're looking at $360 a ton, if not a little more. So I did contact one company. I've contacted others before, but nobody's ever got me back to me but the one company, and they're $240 where they come pick it up. They recycle the tires. It's tires with rims, without rims, semis, whatever. It's $240 a ton total. So I'm
Like the best way to go.
right as of now, yeah. And I've got enough probably for a load or two for them to come in with an empty trailer and load up. Well, we've been getting hit by a lot of the tire dealership or tire dealers where they're bringing in, because their companies don't pick up, but whenever they feel like it, they say. So they need rooms, so they drop them off to us. Well, it's cheaper to bring them to us and drop them off. But if we're gonna have to start paying this $240, it might be worth looking at just saying personal or households only, no businesses. But maybe I look at it wrong. I don't know. I'm gonna leave that one in your guys' lap to help decide that one.
Most of the tire dealers used to have pickup.
Mm-hmm.
Once in a while, you'd see a truck out there loading up old tires. But if they can do it cheaper by throwing them on us, we need to do something about that.
Didn't we used to charge for that?
We still do charge per tire and everything. We still charge.
That's less than what they charge.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently.
So
Can't we just raise charges?
we can raise charges, but the bulk of our tires come from these dealers, these tire dealers. So.
They made a business decision, we can make one.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to look at that. Either eliminate dealers totally or make them pay the price.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't eliminate them totally. Since there is a convenience factor to it, like you said, making room, they may even pay more to get rid of them, and that can help offset your budget. Just because they don't have the space, so they could come here and dump them off, and they're willing to pay that added cost.
I mean, right now we charge $3 for a passenger car tire.
Yeah, $3 for passenger car tire, I think $7 for semi, small implement. I think the most we charge is $10 for a tractor tire. That's,
I think your typical, it's been a while since I bought tires, but they typically charge, I know Rod used to charge $5 a tire. For a passenger car, I'd
Just
say
had 4 put on, and I can't tell you. I never even looked at it.
it was on your bill.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Tire disposal.
But I be honest, I didn't look at it. Tires are getting so damn expensive.
And, yeah,
Well, if they get, the dealers get paid, they charge for that.
Yeah, yeah, they'll charge you to dispose of your tire.
So I mean, then they bring them to us, cause it's, I mean, I don't see any problem with raising,
Yeah.
staying in the game.
okay. I can.
I mean, how much, I don't know, but
Well, I that's something I can work on and bring back, next
Check
week.
with our neighboring counties and see where they're at.
The only fine line that you need to walk is if you start charging too much, which maybe you can keep them separate between commercial and residential, maybe. But you start getting too expensive, and then we wind up with them in our ditches.
Well, that's why maybe you just need to look at, need to look at commercial.
So we need to walk that fine line.
we can see what they charge, what the dealers charge the customer, and we charge them the same thing.
I know one of them was $5 a tire. I think so. One of them charges $8 a tire. So just depends on who's bringing the tire in.
Yeah.
But that's really all I have for, our updates and anything. Is there anything you guys, other questions?
That's something you could bring back within a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I've got it wrote down. I can bring it back. I have emailed another landfill in hopes that they get back with me to kind of check to see, what their situation is, see if we, what their prices are going to charge for next year. If they're willing to bring us on to type deals, because we still looking at that big increase from Butler next year, so.
And just get caught. What's the Charissa situation? Is that getting? I haven't heard anything about that in a long time.
Charissa Lespediza,
It's bad out.
it depends on the area. It is bad and stuff. I was out west here a few weeks ago and stuff, and dealt with a couple guys, and they called and they asked them, well, what's so-and-so doing? Oh, this is what they're doing, and, gave them information and everything. So they seemed like they're going to get on it and try getting it done, taken care of. So it just, certain areas have more problem than others. There's areas in the northeast of our, county too that's got it pretty bad. So
About like the reservoir, we've always had trouble.
yeah, I've been trying to get a hold of the head down there, and has not returned calls or called me. So I need to do another stop in and talk with him. They're pretty bad in certain areas. I've went and talked to Fish and Game. They have areas around the reservoir, and talked with them, and they said, well, this part of the lake is actually, they're getting sprayed right now, but on this side they're going to do a fall spray and stuff. So he says, we have, and I said, well, here's some areas that I've had of concerns that we would much like to have you concentrate when you get to there.
Gray roads.
I know this is another one but
Where a lot of it starts.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's on the course side, there's quite a bit. And several years ago, there was a good one where I could go up and talk to him, and he'd jump and he'd get right on it and call and say they're here to spray. In a couple weeks, I checked it and it's dying, and I don't have that same response out of this other guy. I wish we'd get a good guy there and they'd leave him alone, but
And this will seem to be on, or that's still, it's just, I haven't seen, there used to be a lot of talk about it.
it's a hit and miss in areas, just like Cerisa, Johnson grass. State brought on 5 new weeds this year, and as of May 15th, they are a noxious weed. I can send letters, but it's not one of those that, I talk to landowners, say, hey, this is a noxious weed, this is what they're doing, give you heads up. Next year I will start be sending letters.
Have we published that, what the new ones are? So
Common and cutleaf teasel. There's Arme honeysuckle, which I got told there is a little area in the county, but that is under Kansas Fish and Game, and they're working on that. There's spotted and diffused knapweed, which is more northern part of the state that they've seen it at. There's not so much around here, but those are the 5 new ones in the state.
could you get hold of the paper and do an article on that maybe so people get the word? I mean, you got the word, can we, some way to disseminate that information? Or?
The state was supposed to have that all published out to everybody. But, it'll be definitely on next year's when I do my general. The new one is usually, that's why I'm not real pushing on as a weed this year. Next year, once I get it on there, I'll still work with the people next year and give them a couple years to get it figured out what they're looking for, so.
We got one landowner out my way that's gonna do a fall burn for Cerisa.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the best way to do it. That stuff's tough.
Back on this tire issue, Josh.
Mhm.
When these commercial people are bringing tires in, are they bringing them in truckload at a time?
Yeah, we'll get, they'll bring in, they'll load them up in pickups, but by the time they're said and done in a day, they're hauling 70, 80 tires to us in a shot.
And can we change that fee structure to instead of a per tire basis to a ton basis? I know it takes time for you guys to weigh that stuff, but that's the most equitable way to do it. And if we charge commercial,
If we want to do that commercial and leave the same, tire price for the, public, because public seems to, well, it's cheaper than having them do that, and they're still bringing in, but it's not going on our ditches.
if a guy brings in 2 tires, it doesn't make sense to weigh it. If we charge the standard rate of $5 a tire for passenger car tires to the public, but any large loads, commercial loads, we say, okay, our fee is $300 a ton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would simplify it.
That would simplify it. We would cover our cost if we can establish this contract for $240 a ton. If that goes up, then we raise our prices to accommodate that.
I can check into that and see.
To me, that would be the most economical way for us to handle it and ensure that we're covering our costs.
Mhm.
And charge them by the ton.
Yeah.
If we make it more expensive to drop them off here for us to handle them than them handling them, maybe they will do it themselves.
Yeah, I can go both ways and check it, and
To me, that's the most reasonable and most equitable way to do that. And if they bring a pickup load in, they weigh it and they offload it.
Mhm.
If you got somebody that's, bring in 5 pickup loads, you just keep a running total on that and then bill them for that total. And I would make sure that it was at least $300 a ton to make sure we cover our
Handling fees.
and maybe even $350 a ton. And that's still probably something that they are not gonna balk at.
Okay. Yeah, that's, I can definitely work on that and get it here in a week or two for you. So,
We shouldn't necessarily be subsidizing their tire disposal.
No.
We don't wanna gouge them, but if we cover our costs,
Mhm.
then that's the most equitable way to do it, is just by weight.
Yeah.
And still have the one-offs, the homeowner that brings in 2 tires, you're not gonna weigh him and charge him,
yeah.
for 100 pounds of tires.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep a standard rate for.
Yeah, I can work that and do it that way too, so.
There's a reason why they're using us and not the companies.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We need to equalize that somehow.
Anything else on the updates? I did bring up the solid waste management plan. It's just one we kind of update every year on, where our trash is, who's bringing it in. I did a little update because Marion and Peabody's recycling is actually being hauled straight to Stutzman's refuse and being taken care of there by Nisley. We don't handle them anymore, so I took that out and added that piece. Was the only thing that I had done in this yearly update that we do. So there's not much of an update to
They
our
don't pay for that anymore, do they? Recycling,
recycling. The city.
we used to get money back.
Yeah, we used to. That's been way before I've even come. Before I started at this spot here, we pay to get rid of it. We're getting charged $90 a ton at Stutzman. We have tried years before going back to the base. The base likes to create a lot of fuss and say it's dirty, even though we sit there, we clean out our trailers. We have our trailers are clean. There's no dirt, no nothing. They just say it's really dirty. Basically, it's another way to get us to stop bringing. So I've kind of hit the spot of I'm not going to fight with them anymore. I mean, Stutzmans are always happy to have our loads come in. So that's where we've been hauling it down to.
What do they do with it?
They sort it and then they bale it and then they send it off for recycle. So.
The only thing I read that, the only thing that in your comment, you stated that Durham and Tampa was being picked up by the local.
Sunflower?
Waste Connections is still in Durham.
They are.
I see them going through all time, so I don't know about Tampa.
Okay.
They are. But,
Okay.
but I know that Nisley's trying to get the contracts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Nisley seems to be wanting to really move into the county and do a lot of stuff. I mean, they do Peabody's and they come in. Their group of guys are some of the nicest guys around, and they'll sit and wait until you're ready. So I've never had a complaint about Nisley. They're a real good group of guys that I would probably suggest over these bigger companies.
Have you ever hit them up about maybe handling your transport on just the recycling?
I have not.
Maybe they can do it cheaper than us.
Saves in the truck.
Well, it saves the miles on your truck, and it saves your driver from having to go a different way. And
Yeah, we haul down the South Hutch once every 3 weeks, maybe once every 4 weeks. Well, all we're doing it's Hillsboro's the only one bringing it to us, and then, I mean, we dump our bin maybe once a month, and, you know, you're talking maybe a ton of extra on top of it from our bin down at the transfer station, but, yeah, we don't haul down there as much. You know, we used to go every week or every other week, but now we kind of just getting there stretched out and stuff, so.
Anything else for Josh? If not, thank you.
The plan is one that we need to vote on. Do we just
So
want to
since
do
they
that?
didn't, since they didn't have it
Okay, we
in
can,
the packet,
Yeah.
put it in the packet and you can vote on it next.
no, that's fine, I just want, alright, thank you guys.
Does any commissioner, while Josh is here, have changes that they think need to be made to what the language he provided?
This is what I brought up to you. You might check on that.
Okay, yep, I can do that.
Okay, Isaac here.
He was out in the hallway.
Isaac.
Okay, so I'm here for a quarterly update and then just some department business. I guess we can just start with, Tina reached out to me, I think a couple weeks ago about some questions on our, utilities out there at the lake. I tried, so at the end of every year, I've come in and we've done like a, I guess, if you wanna say, a pretty broad breakout of our utilities for the year. I went back here this past week and I tried to kind of break everything down even further for you guys to see. So I guess we can go to like this page like for 2026. I think that would hold 4, 5. Yeah, here. So what I did here is I broke our gas bills. I'd been coming in and just doing the totals. So now you can really see the hall, office, shop, dock, and then our total for the gas. And then on the electricity, I kind of did the exact same thing. So on our electricity, if you look at this, if you add them up, it's not the total because we have about 15 other items on there, but most of them are like dusted on lights, our shelter houses. The bills are normally $10 to $20 a month. So I kept those out. These are kind of our more significant expenses when it comes to electricity. So you can kind of see the number breakout there on where we're at. We talked about the gas situation kind of down at the dock and at my shop. And I called and talked to them about that with the minimums being where they're at. We checked, no leaks, no usage, but it's a $65 charge to disconnect and then an additional $65 charge to reconnect. But
If you connect within a year,
yeah, you gotta back
you gotta
pay
pay all the,
every month that you had it off. So it would end up costing us more to do that than it would to be just to leave it on. But if you, I guess, if you can go into like 2025. So this would be 2025. Our total gas bill for the year in 2025 was $8,981. The previous year, 2024, was $8,716. So we were up about $200 between 2024 and 25. 26 right now we're at $4,881 through the month of July. Electricity was about the same. We were actually down in 2025 compared to 2024 total. The bottom one there, let me see. Can you scroll down maybe? Yeah, go back. So this here with the plots on the bottom, that would be the mobile home park separated out from everything else. So the electricity, I have the hall, office, shop, dock, house, and then our 3 main campgrounds with utilities. And then to separate that on the bottom where it says plot 1 through 8, though plot 1 through 8 is strictly just the mobile home park. So you can kind of see the comparison there from since 2024 to 2026 on that electric bill for just the mobile home park. But I guess I wanted to kind of present this, and then if there were any questions on our utilities, I mean, like the big ones, the really big ones are the campgrounds. As far as, I guess, if you want to say fluctuating, the campgrounds and the mobile home park, and that's just strictly due to usage. May and June really typically aren't that bad, but then you hit July, you have the 4th of July, which is always, every single one is full for pretty much 2 weeks, and then here a couple weeks ago we had that Bluegrass Festival, and it's the exact same situation for that one. We had every single campground with electricity fully booked for about 2 weeks. And then typically we see those numbers start to drop off once school starts here, August, September. But I just kind of wanted to show you that and then see if you had any questions or if there's anything that I could maybe help clarify.
I guess my only concern is that our revenues from the trailer plots and from the campgrounds are actually covering those costs.
Yeah, and I didn't bring my revenue report. I have all those numbers as well. And I can definitely bring those back, you know, at the end of the year or next week, whenever, if you want to, so we can look at all of that.
I mean, I trust you to do that.
Yeah,
I just want to make sure that we are doing that.
Right, yes,
we're making
yes.
sure that our campground rental rates are, you know, covering that plus the maintenance costs and
Right.
I just want to make sure that
Yeah.
that we're not subsidizing campers.
Yeah.
With
Well, and I know too, and I mean, so every year in November, I go to they just call it like a small lake managers meeting, and so like we'll go and it's like us, Harvey County East, Wellington, Winfield. We'll sit down and kind of compare what everybody else is doing camping wise and everything. That I will say this past year, I think we last raised our camping rates in the end of 22 for the year 23. Like looking at the numbers here from this past November, we were definitely on the lower side, I guess I would say, since we last raised those. And it was kind of another thing too, the justification when we did that was when we upgraded these campgrounds to 50 amp. But going back to like looking at like 2022, 21, obviously when you upgrade from a 30 amp to a 50 amp, they're also drawing more power that extent, you know, at the same time. So I can look at that and I can bring that information and we can look, because I mean, looking at the numbers, especially, you know, July, August, in the campgrounds specifically, it's been higher since we've upgraded that to 50 amp. But a lot of those campers are pulling a lot more power than they were, and we did bump the prices up right before that for that reason. But I mean, looking at what a lot of the other lakes are doing, I mean, I think if that was something we wanted to do is raise them again, I think it'd be justified.
I think that's something we need to do, if not, maybe not every year, but at least every other year.
Yeah.
We just don't want to get to the point where we have to subsidize something.
Yeah. Well, and I do.
You know, I think you've got a pretty good handle on that, but you probably need to be looking at some of that.
Yeah, and I will say too, I mean, nice thing, the thing about it that has been nice is that like before we did that campground upgrade, there was a lot of money being spent on repairs every year, breakers and receptacles, if not the whole pedestals. And since we've done that, that campground that we have not had a single thing, I mean, knock on wood, yet, since that was done. I mean, I'm sure over time there will be breakers that need to be replaced and that sort of thing, but we have kind of eliminated that part of it in that campground specifically, but, yes.
Looking at July for this year, it looks like maybe your Pier Point upgrade is actually taking some away from the main camp. The main camp is down,
And that's, yeah,
Pier Point's up.
yeah.
So it's just spreading it.
And it's kind of funny too, and once we get there and look at August, like, I know depending on what's going on out there, different campgrounds are favored compared to others, I guess. And so like 4th of July, that Pier Point campground's the most popular campground because there's room right across for people to shoot off fireworks and that kind of thing. I have a feeling once we get August, like the Bluegrass Festival's the opposite, that main campground, because it's there kind of by the stage, is the first one to fill up. So I'm interested to see what August looks like, but we do kind of notice that too, depending on what's going on, which campgrounds, I guess, are the most popular. But I do think you're right. I mean, having that 50 amp service, the little in camp, that one's still, it's a 30 amp service, and it is a lot smaller of a campground. There's only 6 spots there. But it does not have 50 amp service at the moment. It has 30. So most of those big campers are either going to the Pier Point campground or that main campground.
On the trailer park, are those like water, gas, and
So we,
electricity included in that rental or annual fee, or?
yeah, so, well, we cover electricity, water, sewer. They have the option to get gas, but if they hook up to gas, that is the one utility that is.
Okay, I didn't mean gas, that's, they got their own meters on that.
Yes, yeah, and they.
I didn't mean gas, it was water, sewer, electricity.
Yes, sir, yep,
That's
that's all.
included in the annual fee.
Yes, can you go to that? It's like, it's like an overhead. Somewhere. It's just like a photo of that mobile home
Of the photo.
park. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this, I did this just to kind of, I guess, give an idea. So I have no idea what happened to plot number 4, or if it was ever a thing, but this is the meters for those mobile home parks where they're at. There's 8 of them. For the power, you know, we've had this conversation in the past too. The water and sewer's kind of a weird one because we just pay a flat rate for the entire park, which they're included in that. So it's hard to say where the majority of the water and the sewer is going, but the electrical is something that we can actually break out and look at. And this is where that is in the mobile home park. But yeah, that covers every utility except gas. And
So there's an electric meter about every 8 houses or something?
Yeah.
Looking at that,
Yeah.
basically, and then, so you could break them 8 out almost.
And you kind of look at if you look at the plots, it's kind of an all over the place thing. There's no real, what do I want to say? There's no real big jumps on any single plot, but I will say, like, what we've noticed is it's just fully based on attendance. You know, plot 1 or plot 8, like there's a couple of those plots where it's a group of friends that own 4 or 5 trailers, and you might have a couple weekends they're not here. Well, that month's low. Well, then the next month, you know, they're up every weekend, and all of a sudden that plot electrical is extremely jumped up compared to. Yeah. So it just fluctuates a lot for the plots, like depending on that attendance there, but.
You got that old camper and boat storage down there,
Yes, sir.
is there a fee, is there a fee?
$20 a month. $20 a month for that. I am completely full and I have a waiting list of about 12 at the moment. So we have 32 spots. We have 32 spots there in that storage area. But yeah, it's $20 a month for them to store in that little outdoor storage there. I think we bumped that up the same year that we bumped up the camping, which I think was the end of 2022 for 2023, I believe was the last time we did that.
Any other items for
Talk about
Isaac?
the drainage at the lake hall.
Yep, that's next.
That's
next.
There you go. Yes, it did drain out.
Yeah. So we just had another big, what do I wanna say? Flood in there Friday, after that rain Friday morning. We got it all cleaned out and everything on Friday, but, I've spoken with Darren Newfield. They came out, they shot the ground. There's been a lot of different, I guess, if you wanna say ideas thrown around on what we need to do or what we could do. He emailed me over this and if you wanna bring him in to have a conversation, more than happy, but this was kinda his proposal on what he thought we could do to fix the problem. I just told him I wanted to bring this in and discuss it with you guys to see if this is kinda the route that we'd like to go, on trying to fix this. But what he's talking about doing is pretty much like a French drain, there on the west side of the hall, and then bring it around on the north side of the hall. The one downside, which we kinda talked about, would be, I don't know if they could bore it or we'd have to trench it, but we'd have to go through, Office Drive there, kinda just to the north of the building, and then pretty much you wanna run that pipe and push it out on the hill that drops down to the swimming area, in between like the swimming area and the stage there for the Bluegrass Festival. I just kinda before we took the next steps, I wanted to see if I guess this is the way we wanna go, or any conversations that we wanted to have there before we went forward with this. And the pricing on this stuff, he said, is also very subjective. He just put this on there to kind of give you a visual of what we're looking at.
Is this something that we would have to bid out or just consider an emergency repair and get it done? I mean, we really don't know what an estimated cost is gonna be because you're gonna have all of this and trenching and.
Yeah.
I don't know, are they gonna have to move some dirt around?
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to move some dirt around. We might have to take out a couple of trees too. I'm not 100% sure there, but it's a big possibility right there on the west side of the building. We might have to take out a couple of trees, which they're not big, or they're not huge, I guess I should say. Like, it's not a massive undertaking, but it is a problem, which I guess brings me to the next item is once this is done, we are gonna have to do some stuff inside of that building as well. So it's kind of one of those things before we move on to doing something on the inside of the building, I would really like to get whatever we could get addressed on the outside.
And is this a contractor that gave you this?
This, Darren with EBH Engineering, yeah.
Say I didn't see his name in it.
Yeah, the first page is, he emailed me this over and if we were, I mean, it was kind of a deal where he was trying to get it over to me as soon as possible so I could bring it to you, since I kind of told him it is an emergency, but.
I guess it would be something we would then try to get bids on. Tina?
It's not a requirement, but it's
I mean,
probably always a good
It's
idea.
almost kind of like emergency repair.
So, sorry, I was out of the room. Like, do we think this is work that the county can do without help, or do we need to get a contractor? Because it would be pretty simple to get a quick turnaround probably on it. It's not a huge project, so. It's up to the board as far as what you.
Well, I guess every time we get water in there, we're doing more damage, aren't we?
Right.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, it's gotten pretty bad. I mean, I think honestly, once this is done, we're gonna have to take out at least the bottom
About 40 yards of dirt out of the way,
2 foot.
drain away. Don't think we need anything but just dirt work.
Dirt work.
Just cut a trench.
You start putting in these boxes and drainage and you're gonna run into thousands of dollars and have the shit tore up, a mess. This way, you just do a little dirt work, sow it back to grass, you're done.
If we take those 2 big trees out right next to the building, number one, it'll prevent damage to the building from those trees.
Yeah, well, and that's one of them we actually planned on taking out this fall anyways. It's not doing great. The other one's small, but it also doesn't provide a bunch of it's in the back of the campground, so it's not really providing any shade or anything, so it's not gonna hurt anything to get it out of there.
I think you said there wasn't much for utilities that should limit us. I mean, we gotta get rid of some of that material anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably got a place for a little dirt that you need.
We could take it somewhere else without a problem, yeah.
If you take those trees out, you're gonna have to take the stumps out too, aren't they
Yeah.
gonna be in the way?
So,
Right now, the roots are in the way anyway.
yeah,
You can't put a trench in there without taking those trees out. And the farther we can go back from the building and slope that ground back away from the building without having a big ditch, the better off we are. You're gonna have a steeper grade on the,
Like 30 foot, at least 30 foot back there.
yeah.
And I think we've got that room. It's 30 foot back to where we would hit anything.
if we get those trees out of the root, yeah.
One needs to be gone, so don't fall on the roof. It's pretty bad shape.
I'd say regardless of whether you just do dirt work or whether you do a project and put in these boxes, it would probably be best to try to get a contractor, at least for now, because this is the road and bridge busy season, unless you're gonna neglect roads and come and do this. That would just be something to consider. You can do it either way, but.
These kind of jobs end up more than digging a hole and putting pipe in it. I mean, I think I'd prefer contractors.
I don't know how far out contractors are either, they're busy too.
Yeah, so I've tried to call 2 so far, just when I was waiting on this to come back from Darren. I've called a couple and
Bye, Joe.
said that,
Can't get to it.
well, they would come out as soon as they could, but neither of them have been out, and I have no idea timeline wise what they'd be looking at before they could actually start work. They haven't came out to even look at it yet with me, but just because I was trying to get an idea of kind of what they thought and what it would take to bring here, but I haven't been able to get either of them out there yet to look at it.
Is this enough information to get bid off of?
Well, I think that the commission, what I'm gathering is the commission is not in consensus about this work.
And that was kind of, when I brought this in, I just brought it in just to see if this was kind of the vision that we had to go this route. But if we wanted to take this further, we definitely could.
But if we took those trees out and put that drainage in, even if it doesn't work, you could still go back in with that drains, I would think.
Yeah.
So it'd be kind of like, well, let's try this and see what happens, and if it doesn't, then we go on later.
And
That's the consensus I'd want to see.
I think, when Darren came out, and I have no idea, and he said he was gonna look, but I hadn't heard from him. He said at some point he thought that they came out there and did this before, not this, but dug a trench. And I don't know if that's true or if it's true when they did that. I don't know if it was like shortly after the building was built, but he thought that just over time, it probably had just filled in and been lost in the mix. They never dug it back out or never, but I have no idea. But he said that that's what they had initially done back there and he said that it worked great until it didn't. But we never had any issues with water coming into that building until we had that hail. And then it seemed like once we had that hail, it just has gotten worse each time it rained.
That's something that's gonna take heavy equipment or just skid loader?
I don't know what's in that. I mean, if there's no rock there like the rest of the lake, which I mean, I wouldn't think there'd be a lot just because work has been done there before, but I've never tried to put a hole back there before or dig back there before, so I don't know.
Well, Dale Snellen's around, he would.
He would probably know, yeah.
When we were out there, forum, yeah, the had a water mess on the south side too, and that was from, I think, the insulation on your condensate pipes.
Yep. It is.
It's addressed.
So, yeah, what we've done is we've shut off one AC in that south hall, and that's a whole nother thing that's coming up. They came out, they recharged that AC, they unfroze everything. It lasted about 2 days, and everything refroze back up. So it looks like on the north hall, both those units on the north hall are newer units. On the south hall, one of those units is a newer unit, and then there's a second unit that is old, and that's the one they thought when they recharged everything and they got it all fired back up. He said that it might last a year or two before they were going to have to come back and recharge it, and it was like 2 days, and it froze back up.
Did they insulate the lines? The lines were all not, there was hardly any insulation left.
They re-insulated them. Yeah, they did. I just shut it off for the meantime. It's been okay. It's been okay in there, but they said that they think something might have to be done with that unit. And I told them let's just hold off on it for now before they really dig into it. But it has been, was it coming into the kitchen there kind of by where the fridge is? Yeah.
So do you have to hire a tree company to take the trees out?
One of them I honestly think I can do by myself. The second one is right there by a power line. I will probably get somebody to do that one for
Would
me.
have to be ground out then too?
I don't know, if you were gonna build the ditch with this pipe, you'd have an excavator there already. You pluck it. But, yeah, if you don't,
Well, what's the commission's wishes?
well, if you just grind it out, you're still gonna have the roots,
You
so.
still have roots, right?
But if we fix the drainage, the roots don't matter.
And a lot of the roots like are exposed right now from when that water that's come over the hill right there, and it's just kind of taking that dirt material right there, so you can see them. I mean, they're definitely going to be in the way. they're gonna have to go through a bunch of roots right there. I think whether you grind the stump or not, depending on whether you did that trench. I don't necessarily know if the stump would be in the way to get equipment there like right away or not, but I just think having the tree out of the way would be the main thing, but I don't know.
No, I mean, we got basically one tree to take out. We have to get bids on it. You know of 2 or 3 people that do that.
Yeah. And I think I could get somebody to come out and do that rather quickly, but just
That'd be the first thing that have to be done. And we do wanna move ahead with working with moving the water out by moving dirt before we even think about putting drains in.
I would, and you know, I guess my concern is, do we pull a couple guys off road and bridge for 2 or 3 days to save a $250,000 building? Or do we let the building deteriorate to the point that we gotta replace $250,000? I mean,
Replace that building, it'd be more than $250,000.
well, yeah,
We're already looking at pretty major redo on some of it anyway at this point.
You know, do a lot of refinish work on the inside.
on the inside. I mean, you can do like they did up at Durham at the cafe. We can pull the bottom 4 feet of sheetrock up and put a galvanized wainscot on it. And then if you have an issue in the future, all you gotta do is pull that off and let it dry out. You're not replacing anything, you're repairing. I just think that we need to get those trees out of there, cut that back, get a swale out the back side of that building and get that water off the building as soon as possible. I don't, you know, if Road and Bridge can't spare a couple guys, we get we may be 3 months getting a contractor to come in there.
Do they have, does Road and Bridge have a skid loader with a laser level? Cause you're gonna have to have a laser level on something. Unless you can sit out there with a tripod.
You're talking, what, 30 feet off the back of the building?
Well, not even, if you went, your backside may be 30 feet out, but, if you get that,
Dozer, it'd make short work out of it.
yeah.
And it'd pull the stumps up with it.
Yeah. Good.
Dozer just run right through there, knock the stumps and pull the grade. It'd be fast. May not look the prettiest, but you may have to get a rake out and
we can
touch it up a little.
Yeah, we can do that.
Well, Justin's got his dozer. I mean, you can get a skid steer that's got guidance.
Skid steer would take more
But
time.
I mean, he's got a dozer that could shape it the whole 9 yards, unloading at one time. All the dirt off.
We still got that
I could do it, but probably won't have the equipment after Saturday, so.
Want to make a motion on which way we wanna go?
Be more of a directive and see if Road and Bridge can take care of that. As
Well,
well.
we have to make a motion to fix it.
I'd make a motion to do something sooner than later to protect that building. I was there Friday morning when we had some nice volunteers out there sweeping the water out for us, and I thank them for doing that. And
It's gonna be an ongoing issue, so.
until we fix it right, it's gonna be a continual issue. And it'll get to the point where,
Maybe all rusted out.
Yep.
Placing all the base plates and the bolts to hold it down.
I would make a motion to create a drainage facility behind the lake hall to move that water efficiently away from the building. Preferably utilizing Road and Bridge. I mean, you're only looking at a couple. One guy said, one guy working on it said, get me a skid steer in 3 days and somebody with a dump truck and a loader to haul the dirt away, and I can cut a swale. So I think we could do this in a couple days. Once we get those trees out of there, I think that building is still functional enough and a valuable asset to the county. We can't just.
Use too much.
We need to get it done sooner than later.
I'll second that. Any other discussion? Everybody understand?
Just to clarify the motion,
To clarify,
To create-
ask Road and Bridge to take a look at it and evaluate whether or not they can do it and how long they think it would take.
okay, I was just going to summarize the motion, so so if this is inaccurate, let me move. The motion is to create a drainage facility behind the lake hall, preferably utilizing Road and Bridge personnel.
And effect repairs utilizing staff initially. Add that to it.
Utilizing
Staff initially.
County staff initially.
county staff instead of Road and Bridge personnel.
Yeah.
Okay.
We understand what the motion is?
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
4-0.
5-0.
Yeah, but we can chat about it after.
Okay, awesome. Besides that, I just had a department head update. We had our 4th of July It went really, really well. We had a full house, no major incidents, which is always good when you have that many people out there. This past weekend, the weekend before this past weekend, we had our Bluegrass Festival. We had the highest numbers we've ever had there for that Bluegrass Festival. I think the weather helped a ton for that. It went real smooth. No major incidents or anything there. We've been super fortunate this year with the blue-green algae. We've got put under a watch twice for 1 week. No, we haven't been under a warning all year, which is great. We've definitely seen that benefit our numbers and campers and people out there for the day. They're continuing to test on that every Monday, and then we get those results every Thursday. As of now, we're not under any kind of advisories. Last fall, we had to postpone our those dam inspections or the spillway inspections because of water still flowing into the tower. We've had to do the same thing this spring. We have not had a single day since March where we have not had water flowing into that tower. So we've been in conversations with the engineer and with the state on that, just kind of keeping them updated. We're gonna wait and see what happens this fall. They said if the water does not come down, we might just have to do something over the winter. Last winter, they kind of let us not have to do that just because of weather. But he said if not, since it's been so long since we've done it, we might just have to do it this winter. But we just had another 3.5 inches and we're about 2.5, 3 foot high right now. So we're just kind of on standby for that next inspection depending on water levels. But we have not had any time to do that this year with the water constantly running into the tower. So that's kind of on a standby, I guess, if you want to say. Here at the end of this month, we just started working on our first CFAP report for Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks. We do that twice a year, one at the end of August and one at the end of December. So that report's due September 1st. So we just started working on that. We got Labor Day weekend and our chili cook-off that is scheduled for the first Saturday of October, which is October 3rd. And besides that, just a lot of mowing and everything's been going pretty smooth besides this lake hall situation. So I think if we can get that figured out, we'll be in good shape. You guys have anything else for me?
Thank you.
You bet, thank you.
Sharon online, or is she coming in?
No, she's in the hallway. Afternoon.
Ready to get started on planning and zoning things?
Take off with it.
All right. Okay, we had 2 planning commission cases. The first one is case PC 26-02. This is for a billboard sign placement in section 15, township 20, range 2, known as 1648 Indigo. And this is an application filed by Brady Abrahams, the agent, on behalf of the Lloyd Funk Trust. This will be for an advertisement for his real estate business. And the sign is proposed to be 5 foot by 10 foot and held up by 6 inch by 6 inch posts. And the Planning Commission has recommended approval with the following conditions: that the maximum setback should be at least 10 feet from all property boundaries, maintain any required clearance from electrical power lines. The sign shall be maintained so as to be structurally sound and in safe condition and kept in a state of undeteriorated appearance by means of painting, sealing, or coating, and repair or replacement of damaged parts. The owner shall have a maximum of 30 days to repair or replace the sign damage or disrepair. All sign parts shall be safely and securely attached to the sign structure. A minimum of 6-inch by 6-inch posts shall be used for anchoring and adhering the sign. The premises surrounding the sign should be kept free of clutter, noxious substances, rubbish, litter, weeds, etc. And any change to the sign face other than the original intent or the development plan must be approved through the public hearing process. So this was in your packets. Does anyone have any question about the location or the intent of the sign or?
That's on Indigo, right?
Indigo, yep. Be south of 170th.
To 160th.
Yep.
On the east side of the road, I think.
You have thoughts or concerns?
It's intended to be a billboard, right?
Billboard
Not
sign.
bulletin.
What did I put?
Bulletin.
Oh, bullet, yeah, billboard.
I want to be sure I understood what we're doing.
Yes. Yeah, the resolution does say billboard sign, and that's what the application was for. The regulations, the sign regulations just require a public hearing for a billboard sign. Kind of those one-off things that requires a conditional use permit.
KDOT, for any of their billboards, they charge annually a fee. That's something you should ever look at or not.
And they do have different regulations for those billboard signs along state and federal highways. So since this is on Indigo, it does not require a KDOT permit, just a county permit.
You have a resolution number?
This will actually be outside the county right away.
Correct, it'll be on private property.
At least 10 feet
Mhm.
on the private property.
Okay, I'll make a motion, resolution number 2026-26, a resolution approving a conditional use permit for the replacement of a billboard sign in part of the west half of section 15, township 20 south, range 2 east, Marion County, Kansas.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
4-0.
I don't-
5-0. Gotcha, Mike.
That's
Well, that's probably changed just a little bit since we signed one of these.
Good chair now.
Okay, go ahead, Sharon.
Okay. The next item is case number PC 26-03. This is for a second residence on a parcel. This was also heard by the Planning Commission on July 16th. This is in section 36, township 19, range 1, and known as 651 Highway 56. So it's on the south side of the road between Eagle and Falcon. And there was originally a 1970s home on the parcel, and the applicant was granted a permit to build a new residence on that on that parcel, with the condition that within 365 days, the existing older residence either be removed or they apply for a conditional use permit to receive approval for keeping that second residence. And so since then, the applicant has decided to go ahead and remodel the older home on the property and use it for their family to live in and their parents to live in the smaller home to be on the property. It does not qualify as a guest house because a guest house would be for intermittent occupancy, not full-time occupancy. So it's not intended to be rented out. This is just for family only. And the Planning Commission made a recommendation to approve the application as is.
Any discussion?
I just have a couple questions. When was that second house? I'm looking at the records for this parcel. There was a permit issued May 31st of 2024 for a dwelling. There's also a permit issued November 29th, 2022 for a dwelling. Which of those permits was for the new?
Sorry, could you repeat those dates again?
ZP 2431 was issued May 31st, 2024 for a dwelling. And A 2022 was issued 11/29/22 for a dwelling. They were also issued a permit in September of 2021 for a remodel. Can you tell me which one of those permits was for this?
I would have to see what you're looking at to be able to answer that question honestly. It may be that one of the permits was, as a permit is typically open for a year, and if they need an extension, they can contact the office and then be granted an extension if their project is still moving forward. So it's possible. Does it say anything about a reissued permit on any of those?
It's just three separate permits. One in 2021 for a remodel, one in 22 for a dwelling, and one in 2024 for a dwelling.
I'm not sure what you're looking at, so I can't answer that question. The permit would be for,
Well, my question on the permit is, the new dwelling is 720 square feet.
okay,
Our current regulations, all the way back to October of 2022, say that a non-traditional structure is any residential structure under 750 square feet. So
I'm not sure, this is from the appraiser's department, these aren't from my office, so I don't.
I know, but they're, my question is that permit, shouldn't that permit have been a conditional use permit for a non-conforming or non-traditional structure?
Was that prior to the date that the non-conforming structure regulations were implemented?
No. October 22nd, October 2022 edition, that's why I'm asking which permit was issued for the 720 foot, the new structure. October 22nd edition of our planning and zoning regulations indicate that a non-traditional structure, for the purposes of this section, all residential structures under 750 square feet shall be considered a non-traditional structure. And a non-traditional structure, per our regulations, requires a cup.
Without having my records here, I don't know the answer to that question. It's likely that the original permit was issued an extension. And so at the time of the original permit, those regulations were not in place
They were
in 22.
in 2022. Here's a copy of the definitions from the Marion County Planning and Zoning Regulations, October 2022 edition. And a non-traditional structure is considered all residential structures under 750 square feet.
I don't know without having the application in front of me and my permits in front of me.
Commission wanna hold off on that until Sharon can check on it, or how do you handle it?
I don't know how, I don't know how the appraisers department calculated the living area versus the exterior dimensions of the house that was on the application. There are a lot of questions that if you would have asked me before now, I could have had that information ready for you, sorry.
We didn't get this till Friday afternoon. So. My next question is, will this then be his primary residence? You said there's nothing in this staff report. I didn't see anything in the resolution that indicated that this was not to be a rental unit.
It's intended for 2 full-time residences on the parcel. That's what the application was for.
There are in this resolution, there's no conditions that indicate that it is not intended to be, either of these residences are intended to be for rental. And that's what you said, that you said that these were not gonna be rented out. I think we need to spell that out in the conditions of the permit.
And so, yeah, I see what you're saying, and one of the recommendations that I had in the staff report was if the use of the second residence changes in the future, it must comply with the then current zoning regulations, and the planning commission chose to strike that condition.
I personally,
The Board of Commissioners can put up their own conditions on.
Yes.
Correct.
You can, and then it would take a supermajority vote, because it would be a approval of something other than the recommendation of the planning commission.
Feel like there's another condition that needs to be met on that in order to.
I feel like there is a condition that needs to be included. I would like clarification on the non-traditional structure aspect of this. I mean, that's what our regulations say. And if you can check into that for us and come back to us next week with a clarification on those original permits for that, and whether or not that original permit actually complies with our regulations.
So then would you want them to go back and get a conditional use permit for that? And then what if that was denied?
Well, that's up to planning and zoning commission.
Well, that's up to your board,
Well,
actually. So,
I would not deny it. The structure is already there. But the next time somebody wants to do something and you deny a non-traditional structure and they say, well, in 2022, you had the same regulations and they didn't even have to go through the process. I think I know we're looking back, but we have an opportunity to make things right.
Choose to remand it for additional clarification. It's probably their simplest approach. If that's the will of, the wish of the board.
And I don't know how the rest of the board feels.
I was getting ready to, what's the will of the commission on this? I mean, ask for clarification. We can go ahead and vote it. Whatever the wishes are.
I think it's best to get the clarification. I mean, I don't want to stifle anybody from trying to grow or do anything, but we do have rules, so we probably ought to follow them rules or not have rules at all.
Waiting another week won't affect it that much on their end, I don't think. So that we know exactly where we're at. If you can,
so for clarification on that, that would be more of a development plan
Right.
that would go back through.
But what I understand the board to be saying is that they just want to know they just want the information from the previous time, and then they can decide what
As it stands.
if they
currently.
want to do anything different or require anything. Is that correct? You just want to have the information from.
I don't think we're actually saying we want a cup on it. But we want,
Basically want to know what he just brought up, the timeline, what were those permits for? Did they fit our rules and regs at the time? And then when the 2022 one came out, did that get reissued to, oh, well, the rules changed, so now we
So
have to
just
issue a new-
information right now without any intended action by the board to do with that information, correct? Okay.
everybody clear?
Are these two residents gonna share a septic tank, water well or anything?
They built a new lagoon on the property that would serve both residents. It was built large enough to have the capacity for both residences, but they may go ahead and just install a smaller septic tank for one of the houses and use the lagoon for the other house.
You know, rural water.
I mean, would there be any chance of this being split off someday? I mean, would the dimensions allow it or anything?
I don't believe so because this is a. This is a 7.5 acre tract, so it'd be very difficult to make that well.
You know, an outlet,
Would be
it might
non-compliant.
be difficult to split it.
And we
Well,
can't,
the reason I would ask, we had, I think, 2 occasions now where they were, several residences were sharing one lagoon, one water well, and then they split. And then there was a problem. Who got the water well, who got the lagoon? Or septic tank or whatever. So I was just curious about that. I mean, if there's a slim chance of splitting it, it's not a concern.
What is there?
they're sharing utilities right now, so it would be on the same electric meter. They have rural water,
Common ingress, egress, don't they?
common ingress, egress. We can't create a landlocked tract.
The existing situation's fine, it was just, you know, if they ever decided to split, somebody's gonna have a problem, and just looking to the future, but if it's 7.5 acres, I don't see anybody able to split that.
It's not likely that that would meet the
Never happened.
regulations, no. And then also, they do have the ability to file an easement for wastewater. But the rural water, if it was two separate tracks, they would have to take that up with rural water. The electricity would have to be, they would have to bring in another electric meter. I can't remember if that one has, I think that's on natural gas, so they would also, or it might be propane, I don't remember.
Plus it'd be a material change. So they're not gonna be, they're gonna have to meet current standard at that time, and it's not, they can't even do that now. So to have two separate. So that wouldn't happen.
I know it was brought up at the planning and zoning meeting, but I don't think rural water district 4 allows multiple residents on one water meter.
You should have to have two.
So that in itself we would be, in granting this permit, we would be usurping their authority. So that's probably another issue that needs to be addressed. And I wouldn't be comfortable doing it unless the rural water district signed off on it saying that they would permit a second residence with the existing water hookup.
Yeah, there's no way to, if it's gonna be two separates for any reason, they're gonna mandate typically that there's a second meter.
And I'm not comfortable approving this until that happens too. Because there again, we're usurping their authority. And I mean, they could come back and say,
This can't happen under.
it happened.
Sharon, did they present asking to share that meter? Or are they looking to separate, do you know?
They claimed that they had permission from the rural water district to have both houses. He said that he had asked about it and he was granted permission for that.
They did that in writing, or they just said that's?
They just said that. At that point, sometimes those utilities, we don't have jurisdiction over that, so they have to file that application with that entity. So that's however you want to handle that, I guess. Kind of like electric, we don't have jurisdiction over the electricity. They have to apply for that separately.
Other than if it's a residence, don't we have that in ours, indicating that they have to provide assurance that either they've got potable water through a well or another source? Now, I may be confusing it with another county, but that's what I had in mind.
So oftentimes they will apply for the permit for the residents, and then they'll have to either determine whether they're on rural water or if they need to have a well drilled. And then we work from there. If it's rural water, then they need to go to rural water. If it's a well, then they obtain their well permit through the county and the state.
Those things that need to be answered, I guess. And it's a question of if it's just a clarification, because we're getting into a number of issues. It's a remand for further review.
So if the board wants that to go back through the planning commission process,
And it's a
then
remand.
that's an action they can take today to have that all reviewed and
Sharon can answer the questions that have been asked without that process? Or what's the commission want? Send it back? planning and zoning.
So generally, if you send it back to the planning commission, it would be for specific items only, not the entire case. So you would need to give direction on what specifically you want taken back to the planning commission.
Would make a motion to send this back to planning and zoning for clarification on the non-traditional structure status of the new residents, as well as confirmation that adequate water service has been secured from rural water district number 4 before we proceed with this.
Everybody understand the motion?
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. 4-1.
Okay. So our next planning commission meeting, I believe, is September 24th, I believe. And since this is a continuation, I don't think that has to be noticed again.
Original notice should be sufficient.
Anything else, sir?
I don't have anything.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Tina?
So on the budget discussion, I did include kind of part of this in my report, really just kind of a timeline update. And then if there are any, so we have 3 more weeks after today to work on the budget. So I will have an updated working draft based on the action that you took when I was gone to stay revenue neutral. So I will present something to you to look at. We will go through it and then make adjustments. We have those 3 weeks worth of time to make adjustments. So I guess I do have, really the only question that I have. So our budget hearing is on the 14th of September. We would need to publish after the August payday, after the August 31st meeting. So we would publish on, I would send it to the paper August 31st for publication so that we would meet the timeline for our September 14th hearing. Does anyone have any specific guidance or something that you want me to focus on or make sure is included or is not included in the budget before I finalize a new draft that is revenue neutral?
Motion discussion?
So you'll get us something for next week to look at.
And we'll have time during the meeting to go through and review it, all of it. So I'll make sure that we have a long budget work session. And just to be honest, it may end up being over the weekend when I'm actually able to have enough block of time to really dig into it. So you may have it on the table Monday. If I can get it before, then I will. But
Several things I had been hoping to get and did get. I gave you a memorandum that was just kind of an update generally, and then additionally, I was expecting this and did get it. an additional update with regard to sunflower on the ADLS system. I had noted the last update, which is a week or so old now, and then had asked for the additional information that you'd requested, which was a deadline date by when compliance would occur. You read this, you won't find that it's exactly what you might have hoped for. But
Lawyer speak.
not even that, no, not really. It's, I mean, she's just being very candid. Basically, the remaining turbines, and there are 4, that are not functioning as intended. The parts have been ordered. The vendors are small companies, so it may take some time for us to receive the parts that are needed. They will schedule the installation upon receipt of the parts. They estimate that it could take a couple of months. Also, the one that I hadn't anticipated was the next paragraph. Extremely hot weather, they've been given certain notices which are required for any quasi-public or public entity for generation and grid stability that they have to continue to generate. In other words, they can't take down units during this period of time with the heat we've had, et cetera, in terms of grid demand. So they're limited in their ability to take them offline to conduct the repairs on the ADLS, even if they have the needed parts. So there's several what-ifs in that. They are down to, according to what we received in the earlier one that I included with the memorandum today, 4 that are not functioning. And this is when I inquired about that additional element of it in the deadline. This is what I got. And that was today, this morning.
I didn't see many on last Friday. Some of that blinking transmission.
Other questions or thoughts about that? Anything else you want me to take back to their legal counsel?
Want to go back to them?
Any other discussion on lighting?
Still want like a 30-day window on.
That was going to be my next question. We talked about every 2 weeks. Do you want to go 30 on this one?
At least 30. Update on what's down.
So is 30 days sufficient for 14?
3 days, I mean, if they're down to 4,
Are they open? Do they communicate with you without you instigating, or do you have to instigate every time? That's what you're telling me.
Yeah. I mean, they're always cooperative at that point, but I'm the one asking.
I think as long as we get a report on what's up or down every 30 days, that keeps us informed as much as we need to be.
It shouldn't be that overburdening.
Burdensome too.
It does. That's public now. What's going on is going on.
Also received dated Friday, but today we had not, and I had expected it before this, received total payment on the bridge damage claim. That is in the mail. They noted the check number, the total amount payable to the County of Marion, and their legal counsel indicated that that was sent on August the 7th. So hopefully we can close that one out. It's noted specifically on here, and again noted as a policy. I guess I want to mention that on the conflict of interest, that was, I did in your memorandum, and I did not make that one a privileged one, so it's part of the minutes, part of the record, and everyone has a copy of it. I did do a short synopsis, which is what I was requested to do, of what the earlier, I was asked to give a legal opinion. When it was mentioned about a policy, I was a little taken aback, and I'm sure that was noted, because I didn't recall ever being asked to do a policy, and in fact, I never was asked to do a policy. On April, I didn't write that date down, I gave the original legal opinion that was privileged communication for various reasons, and then I supplemented that based upon additional information that was provided and questions that were asked June 1st. So, and that's as far as it had gone, and we had kind of ended it there. The question came up then about a policy, and I checked obviously with this board, and I was never asked or requested to provide a policy. Having said all that, I did do a short, very brief, as requested, synopsis of what the general take on conflict of interest is, and based on the circumstances that we had in this particular case. It's in the memo at the end, and then I have, as I noted in there, prepared, just in case it is something you want, a draft policy, which I'm happy to distribute if you want it. If you want to hold off on that, that's fine too. It's your call. Since it's come up, I thought, well, I can produce one if that's something you want to look at.
Commission thoughts?
I think after the legal opinion that we had, maybe to policy that goes above and beyond what the KSA rules say, will take a lot of qualified people off of our planning and zoning on different topics. So we have people that know things in different areas. I would hate to lose that wisdom.
The question is, do they have a financial interest?
Yeah.
And yet that gets into the general category, and you're right, of substantial interest, which is kind of what's used in most of the legal publications, et cetera. And I outlined that's what's relevant. And in the policy, I do that definitional element of it and what that includes. And then I added a few other things to it, corollary kinds of things that may be of value in terms of the participation of various members, the fact that they need to be properly attuned to what's going on. In other words, they've attended requisite number of meetings. All of that is in this policy when I drafted it. And as we talked about, it goes further than what the statute requires.
More discussion?
I guess, you know, you say here in this conflict of interest is where a planning and zoning commissioner has previously served as a paid agent or representative for the wind developer. There is a significant likelihood of a substantial interest.
Exactly.
You know, I would, you know, right now the only qualifiers in the planning and zoning is that if they miss more than so many meetings, they can be removed. I would like to see, we as commissioners have a code of ethics that we adhere to. I would like to see that code of ethics, and I didn't get a chance. I was going to look at our personnel handbook, but I would like that code of ethics to be handed down or passed on to all employees of the county, as well as any appointed boards of this county.
And that's the way this one's worded. Maybe I just need to pass it out. You guys need to read it and see if it covers what you want.
My personal feeling is that code of ethics needs to trickle down to everybody in the county.
Make that available
Right now.
right now. Okay.
I just didn't want to force something on you that you guys didn't want. And this is not something I expect you to read right now, and I tried to make it as simplistic as I could to keep it to less than 3 pages. And outline, I looked back at various discussions we've had over time, both with this board as well as various other entities, including planning and zoning, Board of Zoning Appeals, obviously. And it can stretch into other organizational structures that are required as subsidiaries of the county to meet Coracoma and everything else. I've even noted at the end of it, when you read through it, you'll note in terms of attendance, again, because we've already discussed that with planning and zoning, but that hasn't been uniformly adopted in other settings. And mindful that Mr. Gearing's comment earlier, because that's what I had some concern about. If I make this thing too strident, we can be more, not less. The statute requires, and that analysis has been previously done. We will potentially lose valuable expertise. And so this hopefully kind of walks the middle of that road as a starting point, and it's also a point for discussion, like the next meeting or whenever you want it back on your agenda.
Commission want to address this next meeting?
Yeah, this is, I didn't add it up because I didn't know if you even wanted it because it's never been requested.
Okay. Have the clerk go to the next agenda. Okay. Tina?
We do an executive for probably 10 minutes for a contract negotiation.
Recess into executive session in order to discuss contract negotiation pursuant to KSA 75-4319B. Under item number 2, for consultation with our attorney in matters deemed privileged under attorney-client privilege with the board, Brad and Tina, until, let's say, 2:40, with open session to resume back in commission chambers following the closed session.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
5-0. Have executive session, no action taken. Now, did you have another?
Yes, not for contract negotiation. This one is potential litigation.
Okay, I move that we recess into executive session in order to discuss potential litigation pursuant to KSA 75-4319B under item number 2 for consultation with our attorney in matters deemed privileged and under attorney-client privilege with the board, Brad and Tina, for
Probably just 9 minutes till 2:50 should be okay.
Okay, for 9 minutes, with open session to resume until 2:50, with open session to resume back in commission chambers following closed session.
Second.
Move to second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
5-0. Okay, out of executive session, no action taken. We'll have one more executive session. I'll move that we recess in executive session to discuss the job performance of specific employer pursuant to KSA 75-4319B under item number 1 for personnel matters of non-elected personnel with the board for 10 minutes until 3 o'clock with open session to resume back to commission chambers following closed session.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Out of executive session, no actions taken. Commission comments, outside board report. Have anybody?
I had a KAC meeting, but my connection was so poor, and it was internet only. Where I was, so I had
What was that? I couldn't hear.
my mic,
Have some, oh, I'm sorry.
Your mic?
my mic at the KAC meeting wasn't shutting off, so I had to log off because I was disrupting the meeting too much. I got the lowdown on it. it was basically people asking for money, so I didn't lose much.
Meeting with Mickey tomorrow, looking at options for ambulance purchase.
Mike, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You can be there, Mike? 1
If I
o'clock.
live that long. Last night I was.
Any other reports?
One report, but, Dave, you have
Yes,
CEO or anything that,
So Dave was on
He was on
Parkside, or not
Prairie
Parkside,
View.
Prairie View.
Prairie View.
pretty good place for me.
You wanna be on the Prairie View board?
If that was his position, I'll go ahead and pick it up, yes.
And then that, I can't remember if he was on something else.
I think he was only on one.
The Mental Health Advisory Board. Is that what it is?
I'll double check.
Anything else?
You want to put him on the,
Well, if he's willing to take it.
on that one over there, the
Oh, that one, I'd almost rather him go ahead and sit on Prairie View for the time you're with us.
What's the other one?
Oh, I serve on Skid in
Oh,
Wichita.
I've been there.
I'm the last county commissioner on that board. But, the Prairie View, where do they meet at?
Once, is it once every three months? Is it quarterly?
I'll have to get all the info.
Probably not monthly.
No, they weren't monthly.
Why? Maybe it's cool to get some information.
I will.
Okay. All right, we can decide that. Anything else? I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Who's second?
I made the motion.
Who's second?
Jonah did, I think.
Dan.
Dan and I've been in lockstep most of it
That
today.
has been right, real close.
Hurry.